Hey guys, it's Nate, aka TheFutAccountant. Welcome back to the channel. It's been happening in the background as everybody's been worried about icon swaps, the Fantasy FC League, and these fantasy cards getting upgrades for their performances in real life. But prices have been quietly crashing on the FC26 market, and I know why. We're not talking about these fantasy FC cards that have actually been great investments and are rising in price. We're talking about other areas of the market, which I think may be headed downwards in price even more, as we still have the big promo of Foot Birthday not too far away. We're going to talk about that and why prices are dropping today, but also we're going to take a look at yesterday's very slow day of content that could turn into a better day of content today with some of the leaks that we do have in content that we're expecting. And plus, we're going to take a look at some of our first leaks for Fantasy FC Team number 2. Here's a hint. It's not looking as good as Team 1, but it's not looking terrible. There's some pretty decent names in Team 2. Let's discuss, guys. If you're excited for this one, drop a thumbs up on it, hype the video if you can, and subscribe if you are new. Now, I said yesterday's content on Tuesday was slow. If you weren't on the game for it, well, it's not going to take too long to discuss it. All we had yesterday were SBCs, including the Geraldo Becker Fantasy FC card here. 4-star, 4-star, lot of pace, not great passing, not really great shooting or dribbling as well. 86 reactions, only 83 composure, good agility and balance, and at least this card is cheap-ish. It's actually 60,000 coins with an 85 and an 86 rated squad with 2 Team of the Week. So if that interests you there, or if you think that he's going to get some good upgrades, you could absolutely go ahead and do that one. I think I'm going to be skipping. But yesterday we did have the return of UCL marquee matchups, and of course there's more UCL games today, so I think we might get another UCL marquee matchups SBC today on Wednesday. But this is just a nice little SBC for some gold commons and rares, and you get some tradable packs back. That's the whole point of UCL MMs. It doesn't hit like it used to, honestly, because the packs like we have here, a premium gold players pack, like that's not bad, and the packs that are inside of the SBC are not bad, but they're just not that crazy. I think I'd rather put my gold commons into an 81 plus player pick. Unless you're really low on coins, I would put those into player picks and, maybe skip this. But if you want a couple of tradable packs, that is there. Now, the best part of content yesterday was definitely the guaranteed Fantasy FC Team 1 upgrade pack, and it was a bit different than the pack we thought we were going to get. In yesterday's video, we looked at pack code that said an 88 plus Fantasy FC pack was out there for us, but yesterday before content, there was another one that was added to the code, and this one does not have the guaranteed rating on it, but it is only an 85 rated squad with an inform, making it come in at 26,000 coins, which means it is a must complete little fun SBC to do to hopefully pack somebody from the promo team that is more than 26,000 coins. We opened a bunch of these yesterday on stream. We did see a couple of decent pulls, like I packed Chilwell. I'd still say that's an okay card. He could get a nice upgrade if he gets another playstyle plus. We saw Malen a couple of times, Undav and Lang a couple of times as well. Nothing super crazy, but that's why you do this, because you never know what could come out of that pack. Now, speaking of SBCs, we got to talk about Fodder. One of the investments that we spoke about in the last couple of days was Informs, and it may not look like it right now, but they were selling at 15,000 coins instantly on Snipe yesterday around the content drop time, which means you can invest once again. If you want to pick these up for 13,500 coins, be my guest, because hopefully today on Wednesday or tomorrow on Thursday, they go up upwards of 15 to maybe even 16,000, maybe 17,000 coins on lazy sales again. So I think there's another window of opportunity here on these cards, because I think there's going to be more SBCs coming out today that require Team of the Week. So I like that Team of the Week investment. I've actually gotten involved myself with a few cards here to list up for lazies today around the content drop time. And then speaking of the rest of the fodder market, once again, if you held onto your fodder investments from the weekend, good decision, especially if you bought 85s yesterday for under 2K. They're now approaching 2,500 coins. And again, I hope these reach about 2.7 to 3K in the next couple of days. Everything else fodder-wise is just kind of slowly moving up in price, and it should go higher today. Now, the last part of yesterday's content that I want to discuss before we talk about kind of the best part of yesterday's content, but the last part of SBCs was something that we didn't get. We didn't have a replacement for the 86 plus times 2 upgrade pack, which I was a little, frustrated to see. I wanted something like an 85 by 3 or maybe an 86 by 3, and EA gave us nothing to replace that upgrade pack. So that's a little bit frustrating. We still have the 8314 at least. Maybe we'll get something today or tomorrow, or maybe we won't get anything new in that regard until Friday. But that was a little bit frustrating to not have another little fun pack to be crafting each and every day with some of the fodder we do get from those 83 by 14s. But the best part of yesterday was the fantasy upgrades right before the content drop. And we should remember that for probably next week on Tuesday when we get the next set of the fantasy FC upgrades. It was right before the content drop. We have our first upgrades from Fantasy FC, including a huge boost of the intercept playstyle on the Cancelo card. That's the one that everybody wanted to see Cancelo get intercept, and he got it. Relentless is kind of like, okay, you know, that we could have taken instead of Relentless, like the Anticipate or maybe an Incisive Pass base playstyle, but Relentless is still very good, and Cancelo still has more upgrades to come. So I think that one ended up really good for him. Leao got the 5-star weak foot. Horta got Tech Plus and Inventive. Felix got Power Shot and Press Proven, so not the greatest playstyles for him. Luchter got a really good upgrade. She got Low Driven Plus and Quick Step Base. And I actually want to point out this card really quickly for a second because it is worth noting that she had Low Driven Base before they upgraded that to Low Driven Plus. That was one of the questions for those cards that only have one playstyle plus that we were thinking about, right? Would they give them a brand new playstyle plus that they didn't originally have, or would it be a base playstyle they already have upgraded to a plus and then an additional regular base playstyle on top of that that they didn't have before? And that is what happened with Luchter. She already had Low Driven, so the Low Driven upgraded to a plus, and they gave Quick Step to the card. So that's interesting for like Chilwell and some of the other players that you might be investing in or have packed that you're waiting for upgrades for. It's not necessarily a brand new playstyle plus that the card doesn't already have as a base playstyle, if that makes sense. Undav, little unfortunate with this upgrade. He got Power Shot and Precision, and Alawayron is the biggest price mover of the day with his upgrade. He's gone from 300k up to almost 500,000 coins. Crazy price rise. I can't believe he's actually holding this price. Like, sure, he still has, you know, a couple upgrades that he could obtain, but like, okay, now he's about 460k. This is a crazy, crazy expensive card now. And sure, if he does get the last upgrade that he can obtain for scoring 10 goals for his club, which is only 4 goals away, and he's got 2 games to do that in the next couple of weeks, would they give him 99 pace? Probably, but they also might give him 99 dribbling. If they do give him 99 dribbling, yeah, this card could go up a little bit more. But again, it's crazy to say this because we just started Fantasy FC, but as we get towards the middle and the end of these upgrades, specifically as we get towards the end of a card in their upgrade path, without any more upgrades to chase, you see a lot of these live cards end up dropping off in price. So be very careful with a card like this Alawayron. But if you want to see all of the upgrades for the cards that were dropped yesterday, you can go to Footbin here. Click on the Players tab, go down to Trackers, and look at all the fantasy cards and sort by recently upgraded. It was a good day for the Cancelo, right? I'm working on this SBC, and I'm getting him done because I'm liking that card with the intercept added to it. Alawayron would be sick to pack if you already have him. You're loving that. Now, here's the opposite of the situation, right? It's not a guarantee that all of these cards are going to get the best playstyles that they could get for their card, and that's where we are with this Undav, right? We were hoping to see a pace playstyle. Like if they would have given Undav Quick Step or Rapid, that would have been great, but instead they gave him Precision Header and the Power Shot, which does look kind of cool to have all finishing playstyles except for Dead Ball up there at the top, but it actually kind of hurt his price. He was one of the only live cards yesterday that went down or stayed the same in value because he was rising into the hype of the upgrade up to 150,000 coins, and then people saw the upgrade wasn't that good, so he dropped. So that's the good reminder, honestly, when we take a look at these live cards, not all of them, as they're rising a lot right now. If we take a look at this Fantasy FC team, they have been great investments, but this is a good reminder, seeing how the prices moved yesterday, that not all of them are going to go up once the upgrades actually come out. It really just depends on how good the upgrades are. Now, taking a look at some of these prices that have risen very well, Douglas Luiz, he was upwards of 370,000 coins at one point yesterday. Again, he was low 300s. We were talking about investing in him. Lewandowski, I bought 2 of for 540 and 520. He's up to 600,000 coins. Some of your really expensive cards like Samba Parluelo and Endrick are flying. Diaby's not doing as good because he did not perform great in their game yesterday. It was a 1-1 draw, so they did not not win, and he did not score or assist, and only 1 goal scored, so that's not good for his price. But if you invested in any of these cards and you're waiting for a game on the weekend, continue to hold. I really don't see a reason, unless there's some sort of panic selling, that these cards would drop in the next couple of days. But once again, remember that selling into the hype might be a good idea this weekend. That's probably what I'm going to do before Barca play this weekend. I'm going to be selling into the hype on the Lewandowski card and stuff like that, just to be as safe as possible. Because again, there's a lot of people investing in these cards, and I know it makes it sound like they're investments for live cards, so you just hold them throughout the upgrades. But as we looked at in some of the videos earlier, these fantasy cards do not always end up being their cheapest when they are first originally in packs. They'll drop after that. After an initial rise, they'll drop and then go back up later as they get close to obtaining the upgrades that they can get. So that's one thing I wanted to mention with those. Those prices are going up, the Fantasy FC cards. But what we noticed, and kind of what I noticed yesterday after being gone for a couple of days last week, not looking at the market as intently, I was, talking with you guys in the chat in the stream, and we were like, wait a second, we were noticing that some cards were starting to drop off a good bit, specifically in a couple of certain positions. Take a look at Team of the Year Ella Pior. She's about 1.4 million coins now, and she was 1.7 mil on Thursday of this last week. Just kind of started to notice as we were looking around the market that especially strikers, but not just strikers, a lot of parts of the market have been dropping in the past couple of days specifically, but even back further the last 2 weeks. I think there's a couple of reasons for this as we take a look at this Alex Morgan card, right? From 2.3 mil down to 1.9 million coins. I think there's a couple of reasons why prices like this Marco Reus have been declining in the past couple of weeks. Part of it is it's just that time of the year. What did we talk about before I went on the vacation holiday and missed this last week? Like 2 weeks ago, we talked about mid to late February being a time where the market, after a nice rise post Team of the Year, usually dips. And that's because of, well, people leaving the game after the Team of the Year timeframe. There's less demand for certain cards on the market. And there's just less demand overall in general. You have a lot of new cards that are coming out via the SBCs and the EVOs that kind of take the place of those cards that people bought. And you'd usually just see this time of the year, late February, with the anticipation of a big promo like Foot Birthday as well on the horizon. That's definitely a part of this whole market situation too. Since that is out there, I think that is one of the reasons why we see the market drop every single year. So knowing that, that's not a surprise to see some prices dropping on the market. But specifically here, we're looking at strikers that are dropping off the most, right? Like this Pior, this Morgan. We could take a look at a bunch of other striker cards that have really, really tanked in the past week or so, especially this last weekend. Well, I think that's because of R9. Think about it. You have one of the best strikers in the game, if not the best striker in the game, that a lot of people are working towards through swaps right now in FC 26. And so when you get this card, you don't really need to go buy any other striker off the market, because especially a lot of people are playing one striker formations. And once you get this card, if you had a tradable striker in your team before that, well, you don't need that player anymore, because a Team of the Year Russo or a Team of the Year Pior, maybe a Team of the Year Claudia Pina might go out the window for a card like this that's not tradable, where there's no risk of losing coins that you have to buy. This just goes, boom, plug and play right into your team. I think this is another major reason why you're seeing so many of the prices drop, specifically on strikers. So if you have players in your team still, I'm not telling you that you have to panic sell and get them out right away, because strikers are definitely getting hurt the most. But I'm just saying, be like in the know that there are prices dropping on this market right now. And it's not just strikers. There are other cards too, like the Fede Valverde has gone from around 500,000 coins on Thursday, Friday this last week. Now he's in the low to mid 400K range. You've got Jamal Musiala, who 2 weeks ago was 440, and now he's 290. So a pretty solid drop off there, as a lot of midfielders dropped off 2 weeks ago on Knockout Royalty Friday because of the Incisive and Tech Plus Evo that we had for 2 Stop Pluses. So that was a big reason he started dropping, but he's continued to drop. And even center backs like Pacho, Pacho was 580K 2 weeks ago and 515K last week, and now he was even as low as 420, 430K in literally the past day. So I think the market overall is starting to slide, and there's a couple of reasons why, but I would just say if there's tradable players in your team, don't hold on to them for super long. Again, that's a warning sign that we kind of gave like maybe even 2 to 3 weeks ago that this was going to happen, but now it's kind of here, and it is actually happening. And I think that's where the market is headed. Probably a continual slow drop. Like, I'm not expecting prices to just absolutely plummet in the next day or two, or even like this weekend on these cards that have started to drop already, right? I'm not talking about the fantasy cards. Those are kind of in their own little world at the moment because of the live upgrades and the amount of hype that there is for those cards. But for the other parts of the market, maybe even some of those team of the years, team of the year honorable mentions, and some of these cards, I think they're just going to slowly drop into this week and into next week. And then maybe right before Foot Birthday at the beginning of March, we'll see a bit more of a market crash as we get some big news and leaks for what this promo is going to bring. So I think that's kind of the market outlook right now, because Foot Birthday is going to be legit. It's a big promo, lots of hype. It's one that people come back to the game for. It's kind of one of those staple promos in the spring every single year. Usually brings 5-star skills in weak foot, sometimes position changes, Evos to give 5-star skills in weak foot. We have a lot to talk about with that when the time comes. But again, right now, it feels like you can still get ahead by selling some cards from your club if you have them before that may be coming out. So that's kind of the state of the market right now. I was just surprised yesterday to look at some prices to see, wow, there is some stuff that is dropping a bit. Now, let's take a look at some news. We talked about Fantasy FC Team 2 leaks were starting to fly, and we've got a lot of the names of players. We don't have a lot of official stats just yet. The official stats are in for the heroes. These are the official stats for the heroes coming in. Harry Kewell has rapid and quick step. I think that's a very unique combination. I personally don't think I like that. I don't know if it's going to be usable, if the quick step and the rapid will be able to activate correctly at the same time. That's really intriguing to me, but he's going to have both of those pace play styles. Other than that, the card looks really good. Sasic, Marquez, Wesley Sneijder looks cracked. Zamorano, Aymar, Park Ji-sung, Nakata, Risa, and Cahill. These are official stats once again. Those cards, yeah, they look like they need some upgrades, to be completely honest. Marquez looks decent. Again, Sneijder and Q will look really good. Park Ji-sung looks pretty usable as well. We'll just have to see who they're upgrading for, what clubs. You might be able to get an idea based off of the league that the card is showing for the leak. But that's one thing that we'll have to wait to see for those cards. Now, we're going to have to wait to see official stats on the regular team of players too. And this is a solid team. It's not the craziest team. Like, a lot of people have been seeing this leak and saying that Team 1 is clear of Team 2. And right now, I think I'd have to agree. But these are not official stats for these players, so we just don't know how good EA is going to be boosting some of these players yet. Arda Güler's in here. Mateo, her card, remember last year her team of the season card was unbelievable. That's going to be a card to watch this time around. Gyökeres, Florian Wirtz, Wanyeri, of course, now in the Ligue 1. Lauren James, Reinders, Chawinga, Zaire Emery, and then a couple other big names down here. You got Oscar Bob, Conor Gallagher for Spurs. That card's probably not getting any upgrades. Bantering my own club. Guendouzi, Onuachu's in this one. Adama Traore is in this promo as well. And those are all the league names that we do have right now for the team. Again, it just comes down to the official stats. So when you look through the player names here, and you look through the player names that are in Team 1, I mean, I would agree. I think Team 1 looks a little better, but again, we'll just have to wait and see. I would assume today we get some news about the official stats for the Fantasy Team 2 regular promo card players, and then we'll be able to kind of learn and know how good this is going to look. And of course, every single Friday, we're very curious about the SBC and the Evo content. So since we're in that latter stage of the weekend, getting closer to Friday, we'll keep a close eye out for leaks for what content may be dropping that would spice things up this weekend with Fantasy FC Team number 2. But let's talk about today's content on Wednesday. I mentioned that yesterday was mid, but today could be a little bit better. I kind of believe that, guys, because EA looks like they're updating a couple of things today. Specifically, one thing they're updating is our Wednesday refresh of the party bag, aka the campaign mix player pick. Right now, the campaign mix player pick that we have only gives us cards up to the Time Warp promo. It's a 103 88 plus. It requires 3 squads. FIFA Trading Romania tweeted out a couple of hours ago that Team of the Year honorable mentions are going to be included in the new campaign mix player pick that will drop today. Will that make it more expensive? I hope not. Do not make this any more expensive, please, EA Sports. Like, honestly, make it a 1 of 2 or something. If we can take the 3rd squad off of here and just make this an 85 and 86 rated squad, that would make it so much better, in my opinion, because I've stopped doing these in the past couple of weeks since they added that 3rd squad in. I was looking forward to the campaign mix player picks like a couple of weeks ago, like a month ago, but I haven't been doing them as much recently because they're just too expensive. But I believe we're going to be getting that refresh today. And again, there are Team of the Year honorable mentions that are going to be included in that. Also, of course, it goes without saying, but every single Wednesday we have a new Team of the Week. And speaking of leaks, I haven't seen any leaks for that right now, but there will be a new Team of the Week today, and it'll probably be leaked before content. But speaking of a couple other things leak-wise, I forgot that this tweet was posted last week while I was gone, because there's one more player SBC. I've been guessing and saying I don't know who's going to be leaked. Well, there's still a Sandro Tonali here that was leaked last week. All the other players on this list have been released in either SBCs or objectives. So the last card is Tonali, and that's actually maybe the EA saving like one of the better cards for last. We'll have to see how this card looks. He already has an 88 rated 2 playstyle plus FC Pro live card with decent stats, 4-star, 5-star. So how high rated is a Fantasy FC Tonali going to be? Of course, live and upgrading for Newcastle. So this could be today or tomorrow. We'll just have to see how it pans out. But the official stats for that card would definitely need to be known for really us to decide how hype it's going to be, right? This card's got pinged, long ball, tiki, slide tackle, enforcer, relentless, and technical. His base gold has the slide tackle, enforcer, relentless. The inform added some of the passing playstyles and intercept as well. So we're going to have to really see what that card looks like, but that could be intriguing and maybe could hurt some center defensive midfielders on the market. Maybe a card like Rodri. I think I have a Rodri here on my transfer list. Maybe an Enzo could get hurt in price if that Tonali is good, has good stats, and is semi-affordable. So watch out for that leak today on this game. And then also, guys, there's no leak yet for a new Evo. Since we didn't have an Evo yesterday, I would hope that we would get one today, on Wednesday, to be completely honest. Like, we do have the invisible wall right here that is expiring today, so maybe something is going to replace that one. But if you take a look at the market, kind of pulls back maybe a view behind the curtain of the leaks that are out there that haven't been posted yet, because I've seen some right mids and some right wing players spike in the last day. This Dan James, 87 rated, right? Maybe could fit an Evo from 120,000 coins up to 200K, and his price is kind of holding in that 200,000 coin range. It's not like he spiked and has come down. At least right now, he's still up in value. Other informs, 87 rated, that are right mid, right wing, like Malcolm, he started spiking on like Sunday, Monday a little bit, and has kind of just continually been rising. So I may be just trying to read between the lines, as we often do with leaks and how prices are moving on the market, because we don't have the leak tweeted out just yet, but maybe there is some sort of right mid, right wing evolution that is going to be dropped here very soon. And that could mean, check your club for those sorts of players and maybe sell a player or two if the Evo ends up being good. We just had a great example of that with the left back Evo that we talked about in yesterday's video, right? That Teo Hernandez card and the Ferland Mendy dropped in value because the Evo was so good. Now, are we going to have back-to-back Evos that are going to be very good and make prices drop on the market? What are the odds of that? Probably not that great, but just keep your eyes out for the leaks today before content to see if we do get something interesting related to the evolution. So I'm going to keep working on the fantasy league. I got a little record check up here at the top. We are 7-3. Haven't played any games since we left the stream, but a good start in the fantasy league. A barbell is technically still possible. I'm really shooting for 18 wins, though. 18 wins is where I feel like that would be above and beyond what I expect. I'm like expecting 15 to 16 wins. That'd be my hope. Since I get, 9 wins in Weekend League, 10 wins in Weekend League, I think I can get that. But I really want that Finesse Plus, Second Playstyle Plus Evo at the Win 18 junction here. So we're going to keep cranking through those games today. Keep working on the icon swaps as well. I am partially through my first token of the One Nation games. So really, it's just that this week, right? Grinding through those games, grinding through the swaps, and getting the fantasy league done to get those packs. I'm skipping rivals this week. I'm gonna have to try to qualify for weekend league probably on the weekend, but I don't know, it feels worth it to me. Last thing to mention, I know this isn't a huge thing, but it's something to at least watch out for. We do have the Silver League that is going to start in the next couple of days. And are there rewards showing in here? No, there's not rewards showing in here yet, but there's going to be a requirement of 3 World Tour Silver Superstars and the Silver guys back in our squads. If you care to play that mode, that is going to be coming again soon. So that's going to be the video for me today, guys. Let me know in the comments if you've noticed some of the prices dropping or how many wins that you've gotten in this league and how much you're grinding it, or if you're like, Nate, I can't be asked, because I've heard a lot of people saying that they can't be asked really either with the sweat. It is sweaty. It's very sweaty, this fantasy league, but the rewards are really good. So let me know how you feel about that down below in the comments, and I will see you guys in a stream today. Hopefully EA spice it up a little bit on a Wednesday. Good Tonali, good Evo, way better content than yesterday on Tuesday. Let's hope for it, guys. If you enjoyed this video, drop a thumbs up on it, comment down below if you have any questions, and subscribe if you're new. See you guys in the stream today. Have a great Wednesday. It's been Nate, TheFutAccountant. I'll see you there. Peace out.